All right, we're gonna let the list populate. A lot of fun topics to discuss, but the most fun ones are the tried and true ones. Deluded Deontay Wilder fans, deluded Keith Thurman fans, who I've got a special video coming up for. I'm not gonna talk about Keith in this video. I got a lot to say about Keith, and I've actually already finished the segment about Keith Thurman. And just anybody turning their nose up at this Brook fight. I'm not gonna talk about that fight right here. I got a segment I already did on that. It's crazy to me that people turning their nose up at Brook. You know what I mean? But you know, it is what it is. They cool watching Danny fight Ivan Redkach and Adrian Granados. They cool watching Porter fight Formella, but they'll turn their nose up at Crawford and Brook. That's wild to me. That's wild to me, dog. What's good, Tone? What's good, Chris? What's good, Carlos? Johnny, Kid, Johnny. You know what I'm saying? They'll watch Danny fight Ivan Redkach and won't say nothing. Adrian Granados and won't say nothing. Now, I understand. I said that Sean Porter, given the sequence of fights that he had, that I was okay with him having a tune-up in Formella. You know, I was okay with that. It's just that, okay, if you're going to be overly critical of Crawford and Brook, then you should be overly critical of Porter Formella then. I mean, if you're going to be overly critical. I wasn't overly critical. I'm not overly critical of Crawford and Brook the same way I wasn't overly critical of Porter and Formella, you know? But it is what it is. I'm actually glad my guy Crawford is going to be back in action. We get to watch him put some boxing skills on display. I ain't mad at it. It ain't like I got to pay a pay-per-view price for it. I get to watch it on ESPN. What's wrong with that? Mikaela Mayer, we got to talk about her. See, I like Mikaela. I said this last night in a tweet that Mikaela is like the Ric Flair of the super featherweight division. That's what she's like. She's the Rolex wearing, jet flying, Rolls Royce riding, belt stealing, wheeling and dealing, Mikaela Mayer. But the more pressure that Maiva puts on her, and she is putting pressure on her, like she is, yo. She want that fight, man. And it's like, yo, yeah, you want Terry, you want Terry, you want Terry. I want to see the fight. I think it's a great fight. But Maiva's a great fight too. So, you know what I mean? Maiva's a great fight too. So, I mean, what's good with Maiva? Shout out to Maiva. You know what I'm saying? I've been telling people for 4 years about that woman, man. That woman is something else, man. She is something else. I would love to see a Persoon rematch, but I know it won't happen. If there ever was a Persoon rematch between her and Maiva, I'd go Maiva. I'd definitely go Maiva. Lennox. So all kinds of subjects, man. You know what I'm saying? Deluded Wilder fans still thinking. They don't know that arbitration is not a court case. Like these guys, like I saw the videos right after that news broke, right? And I knew that like, yo, these dudes really don't know nothing about nothing, huh? This is not a lawsuit, bro. I saw videos where the thumbnail said Wilder is suing or Wilder is forcing. Like, no, dog. Like, what are you, an idiot? Do you rely on the viewership of buffoons? Because that's not a lawsuit. That's not him taking him to court. That's the equivalent of we going to sit down or we going to try to get you to sit down and you have to hear us out. That's what that is. I brought up how when Hasim Rahman tried to get out of the Lennox Lewis rematch, Lennox took him to court. He took him to federal court and he won a judgment. Because if you have the legal precedence to do so, that's what you're going to do. You're going to take the guy to court. Plain and simple. It ain't complicated. It ain't complex. It ain't convoluted. It ain't kind nothing. If you have the legal precedence to sue, then that's what you're going to do. But Wilder's not suing Tyson Fury, is he? For none of the stuff that he's talking about. For the shake weight, for the Mickey they slipped into his drink, for Kenny Bayless being a crab in a bucket or eating a crab tree or being a crab apple or whatever. He called some kind of crab. He not suing nobody for nothing, bro. Nothing. Shout out to Steffi Bull. Terry Harper, sensational duo, those kids. I love them both. Shout out to Katharina Fanders, one of the best dressed super featherweights Norway has ever produced. She's a fashion icon. She's not just a good boxer. She's fashionable. That's clever. Yeah, man. You understand? Like the Wilder stuff really gets me. And what gets me about the Wilder stuff is that they're actually relying on the ignorance of the casual observer to cook up these narratives. These are people that don't know the difference between suing a guy, taking him to court, and arbitration. They don't know the difference. And that's what these guys rely on to make videos and spin narratives. They're like, dog, Wilder's not suing Tyson Fury. Now, if he was suing him, if he were actually suing him, I would say, okay, then maybe there's more to this story than meets the eye. But the fight was in February, bro. You saying you suspected the dude cheated in the first fight, which was before that, a year before that. And you never once filed a lawsuit. You still not filing a lawsuit. So that tell me what I need to know. If you could, you would, the way you did with Povetkin. But you didn't because you can't. Because legally, you don't have a leg to stand on. That's what it is. It's not complicated. It's simple. No, Hugo, because I'm not convinced. You got to understand. I think that Tyson Fury was going to give him the third fight, but because of COVID and all the stuff that happened, they couldn't have it when they wanted it. And now Tyson Fury is focused on making that Anthony Joshua money. He doesn't want to go into 2021 dealing with Wilder. That's what I think. That now that 2021 is close by, he want to start focusing on the Joshua fight. Because if COVID would have never happened, he would have already had the third Wilder fight, and it still would have been some months left in 2020. But all of that obviously got pushed back. So now he like, look, the contract expired. I want to fight Anthony Joshua. I'm sorry, bro. I got to go. I'm sorry. It ain't like I didn't beat your ass in the last fight we had. I did beat your ass. What, you going to accuse me of ducking? Bro, I beat the hell out of you. From start to finish, I beat the hell out of you. Yeah, these dudes, thank you, Carlos. Them dudes, they don't even know that, like, yo, how would holding an egg weight in your hand, in your closed fist, how would that help you hit harder, bro? Only thing you're going to do is hurt yourself because they don't even know what an egg weight is. Imagine trying to punch somebody while you holding like a rod or something, or while you holding like a grapefruit. How would that help you hit harder? Yeah, it's some good fights this weekend. Real good fights. I think Sanders is gonna. Well, I don't want to get into the breakdown. Because I got to do the video on that. Who's gonna want to fight Wilder after all these senseless allegations? Well, they could always throw him in there with Charles Martin. See, this is the thing, Emma. It doesn't have to be over for Deontay Wilder. It really doesn't have to be. It's all about how they play it. The problem is that he thinks he's in a certain pay scale and he wants to stay there. And without Tyson Fury, without Anthony Joshua, that is not your pay scale. You belong on free TV. You don't belong on pay-per-view. Sorry, but you don't. Unless you're going to fight Dillian White or Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua, you don't belong on pay-per-view because you don't have the marquee value to carry the card. If you put Wilder versus Charles Martin on Fox, it does big numbers. I guarantee it does big numbers because you belong on free TV. The same way Caleb Plant did good numbers on Fox, the same way that Luis Ortiz just did good numbers on Fox in that Flores fight where Flores took a dive. That's the same way that Wilder could continually bring the Fox network big numbers. And then when he amasses enough exposure, then you put him on pay-per-view. But this guy thinks that he's in a certain tax bracket that he's really not in, because your fans, unless it's a big name, they're not gonna carry you, bro. What was the numbers for the Ortiz fight? Luis Ortiz was so goddamn elite. I appreciate that, Adrian. You know what I'm saying? They have always played things wrong with Wilder and how they wanted things to be. Because the main issue, like for example, the main reason that Wilder versus Fury 2 was a financial flop, in spite of pulling in 16 million at the gate, and in spite of selling way more pay-per-views than the first fight did, the main problem is you guaranteed them too much money that they're not good for. Between Wilder and Fury, you've got $60 million in guaranteed cash that these two guys did not bring you back. In order for them to bring you that money back and then some, because you're not just putting on fights for the sake of putting on fights. You want to make money too. In order for you to get that money back, they would have had to sell well over 1 million pay-per-view buys. They would have had to. But you guaranteed them so much money that you lost money because they didn't bring it back to you. And the only reason you guaranteed Wilder that kind of money, it wasn't because he generates that kind of money. It was because the zone made him a very generous offer. And off of that generous offer, you think that increased his marquee value. It didn't. And that's why the pay-per-view flopped. Yeah, like they talking about Fury had his hand wrapped around a shake weight and his hand wasn't even in the glove. It was in the wrist part of the glove. I'm like, yo, dog, just go get a glove and go get a shake weight and do what you think. Do what you think Fury did and tell me if that helps you hit harder. Just do it. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. How would holding a shake weight in your hand help you hit harder? If anything, it'll stop you from hitting harder. And you might hurt your hand doing that. I mean, you tell me, Timmy. I think he going cuckoo too. I think he lost it, bro. I think that dude is. That dude is bonkers, bro. He is wailing. But that's what happens when you drink your own Kool-Aid, man. That's what happens, right? Special shout out to Rachel Ball. I think she gonna be the new WBA bantamweight champion, super bantamweight champion. Pardon me. Rachel Ball in the brawl for it all. Guanini ain't got the punch or the style for her, man. She ain't got it. Rachel gonna win that belt. Shout out to Ebony Bridges. Poor kid. Big opportunity, but she'll be back, man. She'll be back. Small setbacks, big comebacks. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Now, Devon Alexander, he just put himself, he used that face app to put his face on Rambo, and it's wow because he really looked like Rambo. That's banana. He really looked like Rambo. Yo, that's not matter. Oh, wow. They put Eric LaSalle right there. How does Crawford versus Brook turn out? I think that Brook is going to give a decent account of himself, but ultimately, I think he's going to eat too many hard shots and he's going to get stopped. That's what I see happening. He's going to eat too many hard shots and he's going to get stopped. Appreciate that, Ernie. Fury needs to put a tat on his knuckles that, yeah, word, right? Just if it was me, I would have trolled Wilder the whole time. Like, bro, I beat the hell out of you and you can't accept that. You cannot accept that. You got to accuse me of cheating. You accuse your own trainer of doing something. You accusing Kenny Bayless of doing something. The Nevada State Athletic Commission. You bugging out. Bro, Ioka finna lose that fight, bro. He finna lose that fight. And that's all it is to it. You know what I'm saying? Your day of judgment, your day of reckoning is here. All right? That dude finna lose that fight. You know what I'm saying? You can't save Ioka now. You know what I'm saying? Boku no kachi da yo! You heard that shit, Mark? Boku no kachi da yo! That's right, bro. Speaking Japanese out here. Boku no kachi da yo. It's everybody's fault, bro. It's everybody's fault. Everybody's goddamn fault. We finally getting Bacol versus. I like Bacol for that fight. Kuzma has a strong punch, but he's not busy enough. That's the thing. He don't throw enough. That's not true, Sekou. And that's a myth. Victor Postol exhibits the same good textbook skills and movement that Kell Brook does. Literally. Very good jab, very good movement. I'd say that Victor Postol's style is a little bit more awkward and harder to read than Kell Brook's. I think that Kell Brook is a good, solid boxer. I got nothing against him. But this idea that Crawford never faced a solid guy is ridiculous. He beat unbeaten champions, bro. He beat the number ones and number twos and number threes of the weight classes that he's been in. Those are the kind of fighters that he's fought. Brook is bigger than Postol, and Jose Benavidez is bigger than Brook. Jeff Horn, bigger than Brook. And we weren't talking about size, Ahmed. I don't know why you would bring up size when he said skillful. He wasn't talking about his size. He's talking about what he knows how to do. That's what's wild to me, JBN. They watched Josh Taylor, who I have a very high opinion of, but they watched Victor give him problems. And they just watched Victor give Jose problems. He didn't give Crawford no problems. But they'll turn around and say, oh, Crawford getting foot. And like, all right, bro, all right. Victor Postol is a consensus. I would say he's like a top 5 at minimum. He's a top 10 junior welterweight at minimum. He gave Jose problems. He gave Josh problems. That dude ain't nobody patsy. But Crawford dominated that man. He dominated that man. Wasn't none of that. I wouldn't say that, Arian. That's another thing. And to me, there's nothing sad about that. It's not sad. It's that people buy into promotion. It's that simple. And it really is that simple. They'll look at a name like Keith Thurman and subliminally they'll think that, oh, that's a better fight. No, it's not. Like, do you understand the circumstances of the contest? One guy fought this year and one guy has not fought in over a year. One guy is coming off of 3 consecutive victories, and the other guy is still coming off a loss and hand surgery. One guy has been in the gym chipping away to make weight, and the other guy got to 171 pounds from eating ice cream. And they'll ignore all of that because of the promotion. It's wild. Boxing fans are anomalous to me because I don't know any other sports fans that pay no attention to details like boxing fans. Boxing fans have no attention for detail. I swear to God, they'll tell themselves, oh, the Keith Thurman fight would have been better. You do realize, are you going to ignore everything I just said? The dude is at 171 pounds. That's according to him, not Bob Arum, not Terrence Crawford, not Brian McIntyre. That's according to Keith Thurman. The dude was at 171 pounds. Hasn't fought in a year. Was not sparring because of the surgery that he had to his hand. All of that came from Keith. Where you think I got it from? But in their mind, oh, Keith, that would have, all right, bro, you know better. Hey. In their mind, subliminally, they think of a guy like Keith as being a better option than Brook. They do. They don't like that, and you can't get through to them because they're not smart. I'm not trying to be funny, but like yo, a lot of people really ain't smart, bro. Because it shouldn't take much brain power to put two and two together. It really shouldn't. I don't think they're equal level. I saw Keith Thurman get dropped in the first round by a 40-year-old Manny Pacquiao that was struggling with Jeff Horn. I don't think they on the same level. Nope. I think Kel would have beat the holy hell out of Jeff Horn at 47 or 54. I don't know. I don't know that Keith would, if I'm being honest, because Keith went life or death with Lopez. I agree with you, Toshinori. I agree with you. But you can't talk to them cats. What they about is like they the type that focus on a name and don't look at nothing else. They just focus on the name, like, oh, Keith, like, all right, bro. All right. Yes. Hugo, yes. And I think Keith makes him work for it, but yes. That kid is too big and too strong. He's too big, he's too strong, he's too hungry. Keith won't fight him. And I don't care about, oh, Keith beat Danny Gus. Bro, look at what Keith is doing. Look at what Keith is doing. I'm telling you right now, it would be close. It's not a bet where you could stake your reputation on. And it's not a bet where I would bet generously. But I would bet on Virgil to stop that guy. I would bet on him to stop that guy because Lopez buzzed him. Lopez buzzed him. Most people don't realize that Virgil is a very big welterweight. He's big, he's about 5'10", 5'11", around there. And he's still growing. Ain't that the truth, Boxing Learner? Shout out to Boxing Learner for this comment. Ain't that the truth? I wouldn't mind seeing Virgil Ortiz versus Crawford next if he beats Brook and we don't get yeah, but you're not gonna see that because Golden Boy Promotions doesn't have Canelo Alvarez anymore. So why would you think they're gonna sacrifice one of their up and coming stars to a top ranked fighter? They staking it all on Ryan and Virgil now. It was good, Lobster. I mean, you could think that battle, but we know you like Keith Thurman. Like, I don't have time for the cockamamie arguments and the fringe science. You sweet on Thurman. I would bet Virgil beats Thurman. I would take that bet. Because Thurman is not what y'all think he is. Y'all still living in 2016. That's the problem. That's the problem, not for nothing. That's the problem with most boxing fans in this country. They don't pay attention to stuff. When's the last time Keith beat somebody good? 2016. That's when. 2016. What year is it? 2020. Going into 2021. I know who Brook is. I know that he's of a certain level. Most people criticized him for how he looked against Michael Zarafa. A lot of people rush to snap judgments, not realizing Michael Zarafa is a big, strong junior middleweight. He's a big kid, you know. He's not the most skillful, but he's a big kid. He's physical. Everybody in boxing is always about saying some shit fast without thinking about it. That's how the news is reported. That's how rumors are spread. And that's how reactions are reached. Rushing to say some shit. I know where Brook is at. I know that Brook wouldn't go life or death with Josecito Lopez. No, he wouldn't. I know that. You watch Keith Thurman go life or death with the guy, and your brain can't handle it. I was good, D Jefferson. As a Floridian, I couldn't care less for Thurman. I mean, yo, bro, I used to like Thurman. Don't get me wrong. I had there in 2016. I liked the guy, but you're not gonna sell me that guy now. That dude is washed up, bro. That dude is washed up. I was good, John. To be fair, last time Kell Brook looked good at welterweight, Julius was young. To be fair, I just saw Kell Brook look good against Mark DeLuca. That was at junior middleweight. I'm gonna ask a question: who do you think has to cut more weight to get the welterweight? Keith Thurman or Kell Brook? Think about it. Think about it. One of these guys was actually in action this year as a junior middleweight. The other guy, 171 from eating ice cream. But man, what do I know? Yeah, he should if he loses. There's still fights out there for him, and it's all about motivation. I could go for Kell Brook versus Tim Tszyu. Even if Crawford beats him, I would still want to see that fight. Kell Brook, Tim Tszyu at the Suncorp Arena. I would want to see that fight. I might go to Australia. I might shout out Ebony Bridges like, yo, I'm in Australia. Are people serious that Kell was ready to fight Crawford? Oh, I mean, yeah, there's people, man. I was talking to a guy 2 days ago. He really believes that shit. And it's because people get comfortable believing bullshit. So when you give them the facts, their brain doesn't want to process them. Like, I could tell you all the shit that came out of Thurman's mouth, and you gonna think I'm spinning it when I'm just telling you what he said. I'm just telling you what he said. But not too experienced, Crazy D. Not too experienced. I could exactly Hot Fuzz. I could go for Kell Brook versus Virgil Ortiz. I could go for Kell Brook versus Tim Tszyu. I could go for Kell Brook versus Liam Smith. It's fights out there for Kell. It really is. That's why I respect that he choosing to fight Crawford. Because there's other fights out there that he stands a better chance of winning than a Crawford fight, but he want to fight Crawford. I gotta respect that. He don't gotta fight that dude. He never had to fight that dude, but he wanted to. He could have told Eddie, yo, let me get Liam Smith. Let me get George Clooney, the Clooney of the Smiths. Brook versus Ugas is another one. That's a decent fight. There's always been fights out there for Kell that made sense, more sense than going back to welterweight to fight Crawford. But Brook is a fighter, and you gotta respect that. And I'm not gonna turn my nose up at Brook for a dude that all he do is just do interviews and talk hot fly shit. Like that's why they like Thurman, because he talk fly shit. That's the same stupid shit they liked about Broner. Oh, because he talks shit. That's a stupid fucking reason to like somebody. I got a friend who swears Brook is gonna. Nah, I don't see it either, but hopefully we get a good fight, regardless of whatever. Brook has balls, man. The guy's tough, man. Eddie, I want the big fight. Yeah. And I get somebody for Gary Russell Jr. too. Get somebody for Gary Russell Jr. The chocolate brownie, the brownie. Boku no kachi da yo! 私が勝ちます。私が勝ちます。Brook versus Ugas for the H&M belt on 145th Street at 147 pounds. You battle. You doing the same thing that I'll be talking about. Oh, he's gonna get schooled by Danny and spent. Yeah, fucking right, bro. That's why Danny fighting dudes that campaign below welterweight, right? Because he's schooling welterweights. This kid who's huge for a welterweight, and most people don't realize that Virgil is huge for a welterweight. He is stopping guys that have never been stopped. He's stopping seasoned veterans. Danny Garcia's going 12 rounds with Ivan Redkach. You don't want to listen? All right, fine. But keep that goofy shit to yourself, because I don't have the patience for it. You watched Danny Garcia go 12 rounds with Ivan Redkach. Is Ivan Redkach an elite level welterweight? Has he beaten any elite level welterweights? But you know. You know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This is for Mark. You know what I'm saying? Tanaka wa Hiroshi. You heard that shit, Mark? Tanaka wa Hiroshi. Mark, you still there? Kosei Tanaka wa Hiroshi. Right, man. I'm on my Dragon Ball shit, man. Before the year is out, Mark is going to give me money. Fight's going down on a Tuesday, and because it's in the land of the rising sun, it's going to be very early in the morning, just like the Inoue versus Donaire fight. I'm not overselling a prospect. I know who he's fighting. He's not fighting Joe Blow and Patty Potato Salad. That's not the kind of guys that he's fighting. That's the only reason I'm talking about him, because of who he's been fighting and because of who he's been stopping. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be talking about him. Mark. Kosei Tanaka wa Hiroshi. Tanaka wa Hiroshi. Is there any Japanese people in the building? Are there any Japanese people who could tell me how I'm doing? I'm going to ask Steve Kim. Is Steve from Japan? I got to check. Bro, I can't fucking read that. You got any Japanese fight fans to tell me how I'm doing? Kosei Tanaka wa Hiroshi. Oh shit! I didn't know Steve. I didn't know Steve was from Korea. I didn't know. That's why I asked. But you have Japanese tang. Who knows what movie that's from? Pronunciation very good. You have Japanese tang. Who knows what movie that's from? Yeah, he signed to MTK Global. But Al Heyman is still going to freeze him out of the welterweight division. He could be with MTK Global, man. Ernie Wiles, correct. That was Kill Bill Part 2. Askai Paul. Everyone's going to sign with MTK to avoid ending up in that Canelo situation with Golden. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's real shit. Bro, I don't even like anime. I'm going Japanese. I'm only going Japanese because of Tanaka. Going Japanese. I think I'm going Japanese because of Tanaka. There's only one bronze bomber. Nobody says that but you. I gotta get Eddie Hearn on here one day. I'm asking him all types of shit. In love with the BS, hate facts. That's fanboy love. Love spin so they can live that spun vicarious. Exactly. 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 Yes, it's true. MTK has ties to the mob, but so do I, and you're here anyway. Whoops! I'm just fucking with you. It killed me when somebody bring up that MTK is run by gangsters. Bro, boxing is run by gangsters. Any more obvious? Like, really? Like, oh my God. Boxing is run by gangsters? Didn't a few years ago have Tandil Kurtzidze from Georgia? Didn't he get arrested for racketeering and larceny and conspiracy and murder? This is boxing, bro. This ain't baseball, bro. Like if it was baseball, then I would be like, oh shit. Or if it was football, like, oh shit, it's mobsters. This is boxing, bro. Like, what the fuck? Yakitsa. I'm actually a mafia member's lawyer. Oh, really? You talking about Pride the MMA federation? They was Yakuza? Exactly, wake up. Exactly. Like shit. Like when I hear people talk about MTK's uh origins, I'll be laughing like what year were you born, dog? This is boxing, bro. Like what year were you born? Oh my god, they're run by gangsters. No. Yeah, I think he did. I think he did. You're right. I think you're right, Ahmed. That's real rap. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Exactly. Like, bro, like this is boxing. Like, this is not they ain't dribbling the ball down the court. They not throwing a pigskin down the field. This is boxing, bro. You better believe it's mob ties. It wouldn't be boxing if it wasn't. I ain't gonna get mad at Zaniel. Zaniel. I ain't gonna get mad at him. In Russia. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, the Wilder stuff is still entertaining. But at this point, it's just about comedic value because most people don't take his career seriously now. Like right now, nobody's really like, it's not really about Wilder fighting Anthony Joshua the way it was in 2018 and 2019. Now it's just pointing and laughing. Like, bro, like, you bugging out, bro. Like, you just taking that L all the wrong ways. Like, just take the L, bro. They mad at Canelo. I ain't gonna be mad. I ain't gonna be mad at Canelo if he fights Smith because it ain't like Caleb Plant has a deep resume. He don't. Yeah, Callum Smith resume is thin. So is Caleb Plant's. And Billy Joe Saunders has a deeper resume than both, but he's been looking shit. And that's facts. Billy has a better resume than the both of them. He got Chris Eubank Jr., he got John Ryder, he's got David Lemieux, he's got Spike O'Sullivan. Billy got names. He got Andy Lee. He got names. The problem is he been looking shit. That's the problem. So, I mean, it's not like 168. The problem with 168 is that a lot of them guys should have fought already. A lot of them guys should have fought already. That's what should have happened. I think Billy and Callum should have been fought. You took that Ioka shit. talk that Ioka shit, but I know what's finna happen. Bro, Lennox, we talk about this all the time on this channel. And I said it before it even happened that just because he severs ties with Golden Boy doesn't mean he's not going to deal with the zone, because you're not guaranteed to get $20 million with no goddamn Caleb Plant. The most they're going to probably do is offer you 10 million guaranteed, and you got to hope that the pay-per-view sells enough that you could get the other 10. Whereas with the zone, they guaranteeing you 20. You don't got to worry about how many people saw the fight. And these cats, they'll hear that shit and it'll go over their head. Like, they just don't want to believe it. Like, yeah, they got paper, bro. Like, why do you think they don't have money? Why you think they ain't got money? They got money, bro. Yeah, he claimed he a lawyer, but he want a lot of his fans about what arbitration is. Arbitration is not a lawsuit. That's not federal court. That's not a lawsuit. That's you trying to use a contract to bring them back to the table. And we don't even know if you can, because Bob said the contract expired. That's not a lawsuit. You're not forcing nobody to do nothing. If you had a legal leg to stand on, you would have filed a lawsuit in federal court, and that's what we would be hearing if you had a legal leg to stand on. But the dude don't. For the glove gate, for the contract, you don't got, you're not doing nothing, bro. And the fight was in February. We in October. Well, no, we in November. He probably is a lawyer, but he relies on the ignorance of his subscribers. He relies on them not knowing that arbitration is not a lawsuit. He relies on stupid, goofy shit like that. Arbitration, bro, I could go into arbitration with one of y'all right now. Look, I got the Honorable Judge Judy over here, and we're going to agree that Virgil Ortiz beats Keith Thurman. I could set that up. I can set that up right now. We got the Honorable Judge Greg. You know what People's Court and all those court TV shows are? You know what that actually is? Arbitration. That's actually arbitration. That's not federal court or state court. That's an arbitrator. They just they dress it up and they put them in a robe and give them the gavel and all that stuff for production, but that's what that is. That's arbitration. You got one person hearing both sides of it, and both sides agree to abide by what the arbitrator says. And a lot of people don't like to hear it, but yeah, the zone has the money. They're the only ones that have the kind of money that Canelo Alvarez is looking for. That money is not on pay-per-view right now. That's just the truth. I don't know who they think they fooling, acting like anybody's in a hurry to pay $80 for a fight. Caleb Plant is not a superstar. Jamal Charlo is not a superstar. David Benavidez, he's not a superstar. None of them guys is going to get Canelo the kind of money that he want to be making. The only chance he has is to stay on the zone, take the guaranteed cash, probably have that third Golovkin fight, because they'll pay him a lot of money to have that fight. Even if he's not under contract, they'll still pay him a lot of money just to have that fight. That's how he gets at that cash. That's reality. You don't have to like it. Yeah, that's another thing, bruh. It's little stuff like that. Like slander is spoken, libel is published. What is spoken can be published, so there's a cause for both in some instances. But he relies on the ignorance of his subscribers, because the average person walking the street don't know nothing about no legalese. They don't know nothing about that stuff. I've been said the most that Canelo Alvarez can hope to achieve out of that lawsuit was become a free agent, a network and promotional free agent. But as far as the money, forget it. You're not going to get it. Lo and behold, did he get it? No! He has no grounds to sue for that money. You know. I don't say much, but I say a lot. But I don't say much. I should say I say a lot, but I ain't going to say much. You know what I'm saying? Mark, did you see my Japanese video? My Japanese is exquisite. My Japanese. I sound like a samurai. Look, here's Wilder. Hey, Tyson Fury. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. Blessed. He sounds like a single mother. He sounds like a single. I'm blessed. Like, man, stop saying that, man. A lot. The only thing I want for you is for you to honor your agreement and fight me. I gave you 2 shots. You see that he's trying to guilt trip the guy into giving him the 3rd fight? Because I gave you 2 shots. Why you don't give me a shot? I gave you 2 shots. Don't you give me a shot? Give me a shot. When I didn't have to, and it changed your life. Now it's time for you to be, bro, if you don't get your twerking ass out of here talking about being a man, bro, you popping your ass on camera. What man do that? Popping your ass on camera. Talking about how you want to get pregnant. I gave you a shot. Why don't you give me a shot? Tyson Fury. This is bullshit. It won't costume. It was heavy. Give me a shot. Fucking guy, man. That's a guilt trip, bro. You living in the past, bro. If it's me, I tell Al Hyman, yo, give me Charles Martin. He's close to getting a title shot. Get me either Charles Martin or Robert Helenius. Get me those guys, because if I beat those guys, I'm close to a title shot with the winner of Joshua versus Pulev, or Joshua versus Usyk, or Joshua versus Fury. He don't want to do that. Wilder is literally 2 fights away, maybe 1, from becoming a mandatory challenger. But that's how you see how the cat move. It gotta be so fucking careful. Just fight Robert Helenius. Just fucking fight Dillian White, or the winner of White versus Povetkin, and you back in the mix. On your record, it's only 1 L. You only 1 fight away from getting a title shot. But nah, I don't want to fight Dillian White. I don't want to fight Dillian White. I don't want to fight Alexander Povetkin. I don't want to fight Robert Helenius. I don't want to fight Charles. Like, bro, Charles Martin is right there. If you fight him and you beat him, you that much closer to a title shot. Then you back in the mix of everything. Without the sanction, well, there's still going to be sanctioning fees. Nah, he wants to sit there. I give you a shot, and you don't want to give me a shot, and you don't want to let me give you a 10th fight. And Kenny Bayless, he eats crabs, and Mark Breland is jealous of me. Mark Breland. That shit is ridiculous, man. It's fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous, bro. All them cats is panicking. They getting whatever views they can still get off of Deontay Wilder videos. They working hard to keep getting them videos out, because once that shit is over, it's over. Once that shit is over, it's over, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I'm taking advantage of that shit too. Shit, it was one video after the Tyson Fury fight, the second one. One video by itself, that joint brought me like 300-400 yams. I was like, wow, off of one? Damn, this is a hot topic. Hey, Ego is a cornball, man, and a dick rider. Nah, man. Like, there's guys, believe it or not, that I respect, even though I don't agree with what they do or what they say. I respect Dante's Boxing Nation. I respect that dude. I respect his grind, his ingenue. I respect that. Even though I don't agree with a lot of what he does and a lot of what he says, I respect his work ethic. I respect that. I respect Nesta Gibbs' work ethic. I don't agree with a lot of what he does or a lot of what he says, but I respect his work ethic. I respect his hustle. I don't respect that guy, Michael. I don't respect that guy. I really don't respect that guy. No, it's true. Wake up. You're right. But I'm taking advantage of facts. But better still, like I can't pretend that I didn't take advantage because I did and still do. It's just that I do it with the truth, with the facts. I would say I'm gonna say this. I think Fred is worse, but Ego annoys me more. That dude annoys me. Like he just annoys me. Like oh God, like why are you like that? That dude just annoys the shit out of me, man. Like, everybody like and subscribe to the Ego Nation. Man, shut up, man. Nah, I feel sorry for that one. For the BFTB guy. I feel sorry for that guy because something got to be wrong with his life that he comes on the internet to behave the way that he does. That is not a sign of a happy, mentally healthy person. And anybody who engages in that kind of behavior, yeah, I know something wrong with your life. You could hoop, holler, kick and scream. You could shout expletives. You could call people all sorts of names. You could do all that. But you are fucking miserable, bro. Whatever's going on in your life, you are a miserable, miserable, miserable motherfucker. And I wouldn't want to be it. Wouldn't want to be it. Yeah, Ego is a cornball, man. That dude is a cornball. Like, I don't even, like, bro, you're not a boxing channel, bro. Like, that's not a boxing channel, bro. Like, I don't consider that. It's big. It's a big channel. But that's not a boxing channel, bro. Like, the fuck? You want boxing? Go to Dwyer. Go to Dwyer. That's boxing. Boxing beats and rhymes. That's boxing. Hatman Strikes Back. That's boxing. Boxing with Ade. That's boxing. Rummy's Corner. That's boxing. Unrivaled Boxing Talk. That's boxing. Who else? A couple of channels out there that I like that I'll be listening to. But that Ego, that's not a boxing channel, bro. That's a love and hip hop channel. He's a love and hip hop guy. He one of those. He a Fantasia. Call him Fantasia. He's one of those. Like you not a get the fuck out of here, man. I don't got nothing against Showbiz. I respect his hustle. I like his energy, but I don't really watch him. Yeah, Sport Icons. I watch Sport Icons. I do watch Sport Icons. BDA, obviously, I know BDA. But like Boxing Ego, that's not a boxing channel, bro. That's a love and hip hop channel. Like, don't be surprised if them guys try to do like a Breakfast Club type thing. You know what I mean? Because they trying to cross over. They whole thing is getting that money. And I'm not, you know, like I don't hold that against them that they trying to get at the money. And perhaps they might want to expand their horizons to talk about other things besides boxing. But that proves what I've been saying all along. They're like, yo, dog, like y'all cats is just trying to get at a little bit of paper. That's all. Y'all not boxing channels. D Jeff, obviously, Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. Subscribe to Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. You know what I'm saying? But like Ego, that's not a boxing channel, bro. It's not a boxing channel. That's like who's that shit? Who's that shit? Real Housewives of Atlanta. that's the vibe I get when I look at that dude. Like, yo, you one of those, bro. Like, you just like a podcast guy. Like, I don't even think you like boxing, bro. I think that you just made videos for so long that you rely on the income that it brings you. And that's why you keep making videos, because I don't believe that dude is a boxing fan. I don't even believe that. And I'm being dead ass. Like, I don't believe that dude. Bro, you don't fucking watch boxing, bro. You don't fucking watch. Like, you just watch like a couple of guys that everybody fucking talks about. Like, if I go to Mark and I ask Mark, yo, Mark, what could you tell me about Archie Moore? You know what I mean? Mark going to tell me a whole bunch of shit that I didn't know, bro. What can you tell me about Henry Armstrong or Gene Tooney, them guys from that era? If I go to Mark, he going to tell me all that shit. If I go to Beats, it's the same shit. If I go to Beats and I ask him, like, yo, what's the British boxing scene like in the early 80s? I mean, what was it like? I'm going to learn mad shit talking to them guys, man. But if I go to Ego, what I'm gonna get some corny ass impressions from a dude trying to look hard, from a dude trying hard to look like Drake. Take the D and the R out and put in an F. What do you get? Fake. Yeah, bro. Exactly. Truth. Exactly. Truth. Like, them dudes is not boxing fans, bro. Dudes is not boxing fans, bro. For anybody who's new to this channel, this is what I want you to do. Subscribe to Unrivaled Boxing Talk. Subscribe to Boxing Beats and Rhymes. If you really like boxing as a sport and you want boxing content and boxing history, things that maybe you don't even know, those is the go-to guys. Subscribe to those channels. I guarantee you, you won't be disappointed. But like channels like Ego, that's not a boxing channel. That's like saying, you know what Ego's like? He's like Walmart. He's like Walmart. Just because Walmart has a cell phone store in it, don't make it a cell phone store. Just because they got laptops and shit in the back, that don't mean that that's like they shit. Like that's like what he is. Like you just gonna keep talking about Wilder every fucking day. Every fucking day you talk about Wilder. Every day. Always talking about fucking Wilder and Al Heyman. Why don't you just go give Al Heyman a blowjob? Because that's what you want to do. You look up to him. Like, cats acting like Al Heyman is like I don't even know, man. Like, but that's it's bizarre, man. Like, it's bizarre. It's bizarre. Yeah. Wendy Williams. There you go, JD. Thank you. He like Wendy Williams, like, and you know now we're gonna talk. That's him, man. He the Wendy Williams of boxing. Oh, of course, Punch Drunk. You gotta shout out Punch. I gotta shout out Punch. It's my paisa. It's my paisa. Kurt DeVille, of course. Kurt DeVille with the manliest perspectives, man. It's good look like it's good channels out there, and some of them are bigger than others, yeah. But as far as the usual suspects, man, channels ain't boxing channels, man. Not boxing channel. This is not no boxing channels. What motherfucker gonna sit there and make up stories and shit when the news is readily available from several pundits and several periodicals? They don't want to read none of that shit. Like, nah, man, Wilder got cheated, yo. They cheated Wilder, yo. Man, shut the fuck up, man. Fuck are you talking about, dog? Motherfuckers think that all the boxing gotta be PBC. Like, what the fuck is wrong with them? PBC ain't even been around that long. They only been around for like 5-6 years. And they all on their cock. Like, ain't even been around that long. Yeah, Boxing Wave is a good channel. Underrated channel. Shout out to Boxing Wave. That's a good channel. They do sell toilet paper. That's exactly why, Walter. That's exactly why. That is exactly why. Any fighter that is not a PBC fighter, for some reason, is on a doodle list. Oh, he can't fight. Oh, he a hype job. Oh, he ain't like what? Yeah, I'm over that dude too. At this point, I just get like a little bit of bread off his videos because it's like people like laughing at him. So those videos always do well because it's always some funny shit to say. We got to thank him for that. That dude is the gift that keeps on giving. Get DT3. Oh, they want to ride with Brook now, right? Yeah, yeah. Remember when Boxing Ego released the video titled "Why Mayweather's Career is Better Than Pacquiao," and a commentator said he thinks Pac, and he spent like 3 paragraphs back. Oh yeah, man. That dude is. Look, man. I don't know where they found that dude. If I'm like, I don't know where they found that dude, man. I don't know. But I've been saying them dudes not boxing fans, man. They ain't like, nah, dog. Like you a loving hip hop fan, B. You loving hip hop, like the whole thing is like, man, wearing shades indoors and all of that, acting like Al Heyman paid your tuition. Like you went to DeVry and Al paid the tuition. He paid for the classes. And you think it's a coincidence that Campbell got COVID? UK Rob, great minds think alike, bro. And that's all I'm gonna say. Great minds, they think alike. Because what most people don't realize is that by the time we get our hands on the news, it's already several days old. And what they might have decided to do, instead of making Ryan Garcia versus Luke Campbell a standalone fight, we can add that to the Canelo fight because we're in talks with Canelo to fight Callum Smith. And there you have a supercard. I'm with you on that, Rob. I'm with you on that. Coincidence that he got the COVID. It's a coincidence that he got the COVID. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to make sacrifices, man. I thought he doesn't have power because he's not a grown man. He's only 21 years old. That's literally what I thought. If you wanted to know what I thought of his performance, then why you ain't watched the weekend recap video? It's literally up there right now. Give me your viewership. Mark, you're not gonna be happy when Kosei uppercuts this dude's head off. You're not gonna be happy about that. Bro, I could turn around and say I got COVID right now. Like, yo, I got COVID, yo. I can't come to work right now. I just said the exact same thing yesterday, fam. Yeah, man. It's the perfect excuse to delay a fight a couple of weeks or a couple of days. Yeah, man. Just go ahead and say, hey, man, I can't breathe, man. My nose is stuffed up and I'm running a fever. Listen, bro. I'm just telling you now, man. Telling you now, man. Tanaka is gonna beat the shit out of that dude, man. Tanaka, what the fuck? Tanaka, ga hakai suru. Tanaka, ga hakai suru. Who is the better opponent? Neither. They're interchangeable. I said that already. Them dudes is interchangeable. I could have a higher opinion of Caleb, but ain't nothing in his resume that stands out. Ain't nothing in his resume that stands out. Tanaka, Kurishi, Yaka! Tanaka, Grisi, Yaka! Hadouken! Julius has his Japanese correspondent in the studio. Man, somebody got to tell me how my Japanese is, man. I like their language. It's just complicated, man. It's not like French. Like French, I can do. It rolls off the tongue. But fucking Japanese, man. Jesus Christ. And forget it. I tried Korean. That was too goddamn hard. I think stylistically Caleb's more difficult, but I feel you. Yeah. They're interchangeable. Like I feel that way. That Caleb is a little better, but it's not on paper. He didn't prove it. It's not in his resume. So it's like, I'll take Callum because I don't want to complain. I wouldn't say he's a downgrade. What has Caleb Plant done that it's a downgrade? You got to quantify it. Who did he beat that is like, oh, well, you should have fought Caleb? Vincent Fagan boots? Who's like, am I supposed to say that him beating whatchamacallit? I literally forgot this fucking dude's name, man. The dude that he won the belt from, the IBF title. I mean, Battle, you got a lot of unique opinions, man. Ultimately, you can't quantify that without telling me your opinion. Holy hell, this dude got ring IQ. Uskateki, that's right. Who was better, Uskateki or George Groves? Who was more decorated at the weight, Uskateki or George Groves? Callum beat George Groves to become a world champion. George Groves is a better scalp than Jose Uskateki. Now, neither of the two guys have done a whole lot since then. Vincent Fagan boots, Hassan Andam, Mike Lee, John Ryder. It's like, if you like, the only people that I see complaining are people that have an affinity for complaining because there's nothing to complain about. Callum is an unbeaten world champion. So is Caleb. At the end of the day, the PBC people, they didn't have enough time to put that together for Canelo, so he moved on. Callum Smith hasn't fought in 2 years. What you talking about? He fought John Ryder. I said it was a downgrade earlier in my life, but in the sense of financials, see, this is the thing. Anecdotally, I could tell you that I have a higher opinion of Caleb, but what's the key word there? Opinion. That's an opinion. My opinion is interchangeable with someone else's the same way that Callum Smith is interchangeable with Caleb Plant. But what I see is that it's 2 times Caleb Plant has been offered to fight. 2 times. And 2 times it didn't happen. Is that Canelo's fault? No. They offered you to fight twice, bro. If they offered him to fight twice, I must be like, yo, it ain't Canelo, it's them. They offered him to fight twice. When he was with Golden Boy and when he wasn't with Golden Boy. When he was on the zone and when he wasn't on the zone. And both times, it's your side, man. It's your side that's causing that to happen. So I go ahead, bro. Go fight somebody, bro. Like I'm not a complainer. Like Canelo set the fight, an unbeaten world champion either way. So I'm not gonna complain. I'm glad he's fighting. I'm just glad he's fighting. Yeah, that's true too, Ahmed. That's true too. Either fight is better than a Yildirim fight. Caleb Plant, look, the other thing is that, everybody's always talking about sides of the street. Okay, on Caleb Plant's side of the street, he has Chris Eubank Jr., he has David Benavidez, he has Avni Yildirim, he has Anthony Durrell. It's people there for you to fight that are better, that like, your fight could get attention. You not fighting? All right then, bro. Then if you not going to fight, all right then, bro. I know they offered you a Canelo fight 2 times and it didn't happen. So it's like, bro, like, all right, bro. Okay, bro. It's fights there. It's fights there. It's literally fights there. And he not having them. And I'm not going to be like, oh, well, he should have fought Caleb. Bro, it's a lot of shoulds when it comes to Caleb. It's real rap, yo. He better find something to do. He better find something to do. That's all I can say. Don't just sit on that IBF hoping for Canelo to come back around, because this time he might not. They offered you to fight 2 times, bro. Konnichiwa. 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 You know what I'm saying? Logically, Canelo should campaign at 168. Don't mind Callum Smith. Yeah, I don't mind either of those fights. I'll take both. I was happy when I heard it was going to be Plant, and when it changed to whatchamacallit, I was like, oh, well, that's just as good. That's just as good. It ain't like Caleb has a deep resume. He don't. And I ain't saying Callum has one either, but that's why they're interchangeable. See, Chava from ESPN Deportes is reporting that Team Canelo's first choice was Caleb Plant, but they couldn't come to terms with the PBC. They then went with Matchroom to get a deal done with Callum Smith. See, that's Eddie Hearn, man. Eddie Hearn is a goddamn hero, man. When y'all gonna understand that? When are y'all gonna understand that? Eddie Hearn is a hero, man. He's saving boxing with one hair comb at a time, man. He's a goddamn hero. Eddie Hearn. You gotta earn with Hearn so you can learn. Earn with Hearn so you can learn. Eddie Hearn, goddammit. But I'm supposed to get mad at him? Nah, man. Who the one that has the reputation for fights not happening? PBC. And what just happened? A fight didn't happen. Oh, coincidence? I think not. Eddie Hearn is an American hero from the UK. Moti desu ka? Hey, Joseph, get out of here. Daijoubu desu. Daijoubu desu. Plant is doing exactly. He's doing what Kavnowski was ordered to do, what Ortiz was ordered to do. That's what they doing, bro. That's what they doing, man. Of course, thank you, Lennox. And isn't that what we was just talking about? I literally said that, like, yo, dog, can they even afford Canelo? You know what kind of money he's looking for. Can they afford this guy? Is it in their budget to finance a Canelo Alvarez fight? Because you can't give him $1 million guaranteed and tell him, yeah, man, you'll make the rest on the upside. It's Canelo Alvarez we talking about. You could do that to Gervonta Davis. You could do that to Jermall Charlo. You can't do that to Canelo. Like, yeah, man, I'm gonna guarantee you 3, and you'll get the rest of these. No. And why is Joseph following me making noise? Does he want to get spanked? Because he's doing that on purpose. We need to see Big Daddy. You bugging. You know what? Fujimoto. Word, right? They're going to pay him in chiclets and Tic Tacs. They're going to pay that dude in chiclets and Tic Tacs. Okay, Joe, you need to move and stop doing that. You need to stop doing that. Real rap, man. That's real rap, yo. Crawford Brook, because Spence Garcia is overpriced. That fight belongs on Fox. That fight don't belong on pay-per-view. That fight belongs on Fox. Spence versus Garcia isn't a bad fight, so don't misunderstand me. It's a good fight, but it doesn't belong on pay-per-view. Crackers. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I got no issue with Smith, man. I got no issue with Smith. If Canelo goes on a tour of the belts, he fights Smith, he fights Saunders, then maybe he fights Plant. Yeah, I could go for that. I could go for that. Why not? Shit, probably, Ivan. Probably. I don't doubt that. Yeah, what? Yeah, I know. Bro, that list is already up, Syph Bud. That list is literally posted on Instagram, and I did a video about it. That list is literally already up. I've been doing that list. Oh, he called Caleb Plant a token. Nah, he country though. He country. Like, I don't got nothing against Caleb. I wish him and his wife nothing but the best. I'm just saying that nothing makes him stand out from Smith or Saunders. Nothing. Like, there's nothing that he on his resume that makes him head and shoulders above those guys. Hell, Billy Joe Saunders has better names on his resume than Caleb does. Nah, it's they rescheduling it, Mendez. They rescheduling it. They trying to put it on the Canelo fight now, so it's not a loss. They gonna have it, but they gonna move Garcia versus Campbell to the Canelo card. It's gonna be on the undercard, so that's dope. If anything, Caleb got skills, but don't tell me that he tested him against somebody that is bankable, because he didn't, and I don't go off of eye tests. I don't go off of that shit, man. I don't go off that shit. That's true, Walter. That's true. Because you see how much they get into arguments. You see how much Ryan don't be happy with shit. Ryan will fuck around be the next one. Depends on how much time is left on his contract. That's some real shit. Real motherfucking shit. They're gonna co-promote it, bro. It's not unusual for a fighter. Go, Joe. Go pee. It's not unusual for a fighter that's with a different promoter to make an appearance on another promoter's card because they're on the same platform. Matchroom cards come on DAZN. Golden Boy cards come on DAZN. So it's not unusual for their fighters to make appearances on each other's cards. Yoka Kurosaki! Tanaka! Hey, how's my Italian design? My Italian. How's my Japanese? Is it good? It's good stuff? Can I get into a sword fight in Japan? Can they actually buy Virgil? Yes, they could. But they could. In theory, they could, Ivan. In theory, they could. It's just that I don't think that Golden Boy Promotions, given the state that they're in, I don't think that they would be willing to let him go right now because he is now a big part of their bottom line. They don't got Canelo anymore, man. So it's all on Ryan and it's all on Virgil. And they got Jojo Diaz, they got Suleiman Urbina, they got Marlon Esparza, they got Sinisi Estrada, they got Franchon Cruz. They got to hold on to what they got because they ain't got Canelo no more. That's a big revenue stream that they just lost. Oh, you already know, Iron Kong. You already know. Out here smoking a squid, smoking a stuck bone. What are your thoughts on Canelo's rehydration clauses, and is it an advantage? Will it affect his legacy? It ain't a ring IQ. Well, this is what I think. Like a lot of people talked about the rehydration clause in the Danny Jacobs fight, right? And the fight before that, Danny Jacobs had to already abide to a rehydration clause from the IBF. It didn't affect his performance against Sergey Derevianchenko. He won the fight. So Canelo Alvarez stipulated a rehydration clause of his own, but it was the same kind of clause that Danny Jacobs already abided by. So it's like, it's nitpicking. Danny Jacobs had abided by a rehydration clause the fight before that because the IBF doesn't let you come in 10 pounds over the limit in non-unification matches. If you was cool to do that with Sergey, then why would it be a problem to do it with Canelo? Why is that a problem? You were able to operate just fine when the IBF told you to do it. But if Canelo puts that in a contract, oh, it's a problem. It's a problem. Like, bro, he's the A-side, bro. And that is how this works. So I don't lose a lot of sleep over that. Is it a form of an advantage? Yeah, it's a form of an advantage. It is. It prevents the other guy from coming in too heavy. Yeah, it is a form of an advantage. But it's a form of an advantage that any A-side fighter, any and every A-side fighter does shit like that. Not just him. That's why I don't lose sleep over it. Exactly, Lou. They lost like 80% of their revenue stream, so that they just not in a position to give things away. All right, D, I see you. Why does Canelo put it in? No, I mean, it benefits him, John. It's not even that it doesn't. I mean, it's more along the lines of how much sleep do you want to lose over that? You know, it's a benefit. It is a benefit. It prevents the other guy from coming in 10 pounds over the limit. So I get it. It's just that, well, it didn't affect your performance with Sergey. You beat Sergey. You beat Sergey better than Golovkin beat Sergey. So it didn't affect your performance. So you can't lean on that with Canelo when the clause didn't affect your performance with Sergey. Listen, man. I know you mad that they made the fight, Mark. I know you didn't want this fight because now the truth is going to be told. And Tanaka's going to save us all. That's what he's here to do. He's here to save us. Shout out to Kosei Tanaka, land of the rising sun. Kurimedishi. Bruh, if he fight Canelo, that shit is gonna do numbers. If he were to do that, that shit would do numbers, bro. That shit would do numbers. Kosei Tanaka is an American hero, and it's that simple. It really is that simple. But now, if they were to actually do that, Oscar De La Coca, Canelo Alvarez, A-side battle of the A-sides. Even though Oscar is old as shit, and you know he ain't gonna win the fight, that shit would still do numbers just because people want to see Canelo beat the shit out of him. So it would still do numbers. Kosei Tanaka is the finest Irishman I ever knew. Golden Boy lost big time with the loss of Canelo. They need to look at how Matchroom have developed a stable. Yep, I agree. Because Golden Boy was putting it all on Canelo's shoulders. And they weren't really, I don't feel like they're pushing. They got good fighters, man. But I don't feel like they push them hard enough. And I mean, like, they don't promote them well enough. Like, yo, you got to do more. That was the finest Irish accent from Dublin. Kosei Tanaka's a hero in my village. Yeah, I'm watching too much Samurai Jack, man. Tanaka-san! I don't even know, because PBC has a lot more ponies than Golden Boy does, if you think about it. They got Errol. They got Wilder. They've got Javante. They got Javante. He's something. I'll say that Golden Boy has less stallions, for lack of a better word, than PBC because, well, think about it. What fighters that Golden Boy has are in the position of Devontae Davis or Errol Spence Jr. or even Wilder? Because for all Wilder's controversy, and as much as we laugh at the shit that happens, he gets attention though. And I don't think that Golden Boy has somebody like that that gets that kind of attention. So PBC does kind of have more to play with than Golden Boy. You know, like I wouldn't say that the PBC is in the same position. I wouldn't say that Golden Boy Promotions is in the same position as the PBC. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I think that for what it's worth, PBC has more to play with. But I would also say that I'd rather watch Senicia Estrada than any PBC fighter. I'll take 10. I would watch Senicia Estrada versus Miranda Atkins 10 times before I'd watch Davis versus Ruiz or Munoz or any of them guys. Why Jaron Ennis not some, because he has some kind of situation with his promoter. He has some promotional issues, but that's why. It's something going on there. I read about it like 3-4 months ago. There is some promotional shit going on there. I mean, honestly, yeah. Top Rank has a deep stable. Most people don't realize that. Matchroom has a really deep stable. Most people don't realize that because they get so focused on who has more key value and who don't when they don't think like, yo, when you focused on one or two guys, you putting it all on their shoulders. What about the other guys? And what happens if these guys lose? If Davis lose tomorrow, right? What do they really have in the lightweight or super featherweight division if Davis lose tomorrow? Don't tell me Rolly Romero. Don't say that. What they got, Javier Fortuna? He said they'll be fine. They got Black Cobbs. That's a good point. It's a good point. Anyway, I'm old. It's time for my afternoon nap. Gentlemen, always a pleasure. I'll see you on the next live.